on two devices, if you're on two devices, pretty please don't be on two devices.
We
So that
just
we could
crashed the
please
website.
everybody.
We need to open more seats.
We
Gabe
actually kind of crashed the
Snow.
website.
We did.
Gabe
We did.
Snow is on two
What's
devices,
going
I
on?
think.
Tatiana, you're on a bunch of devices. So yeah, awesome.
Jamie D. Donato in the house. Jen's
Love
in the
it.
house.
Look at this. Margusity's in the
Julia's in the
house.
house.
Gargano.
Oh my God, there's so many wonderful
This
human
is so
beings.
cool. I love this.
Kira.
Jimmy from Canada's here. Yes.
Oh my God,
Guys,
Canada
do
in
me
the
a
house?
favor. Yeah, tell us where you're from. Put it in the chat box. Tell us where you're listening in from, where you're tuning in from. I see Boston. Yeah, Brooklyn, DC, New York
Oh my
City,
gosh, I
DC,
love this.
Philadelphia, South Carolina,
South
Vancouver.
Kakalaki,
I
the
love it. Jersey
BX, the
City,
Boogie Down Bronx. Let's go.
Tampa. Yeah, Brazil. Oh, but you're in New York City. That's okay. We'll go with it. Long Island, Boulder, Colorado, Jersey. This is so cool. Awesome. Philly. Yay!
Wow, we are packed house right now. Jess, are you fired
So
up?
good. I'm so excited. All right, let's do this. Let's
Okay.
intro ourselves.
Ladies and gentlemen, beautiful creatures, my name is Nick Pags. I am thought leader, coach, speaker, motivator, personal trainer, group fitness instructor, consultant in the fitness space. I do a lot of different things, and I am with Talent Hack. And I am here today to connect with you, to support you on this insane journey that we're all kind of facing in the past 2 weeks. It has been something special. And the question that keeps coming up over and over is, what are we doing? Like, what's the next step with all this craziness? And for a while, I've also been a coach with Empower You. Empower You is Jess's beautiful business building program that she's going to tell you about. So I'll let Jess intro herself. Go ahead, girl.
I love it. One thing, someone said they can't hear Nick. Are we good? Can you guys give us some like thumbs up or something in the chat box if you can hear Nick? Because I can hear him. Okay, you can hear both. Awesome. Thank you so much. Just check on your volume then. Yeah, beautiful. Love it. So yes, well, Nick, we have to work on the energy thing. But I am Jess Glazer. Yeah, so if you guys don't know who I am, Jess Glazer here. I was an elementary school teacher for 8 years. I've been a personal trainer for 18. I'm one of the Performance House founding trainers from a couple of years ago. And you said you can't hear both. Guys, so I think that might be on your computer end if you're not being able to hear us. Just double check on that. Some people said, yeah, just make sure your sound is on. I know. Check your preferences on the top left and then see if your speakers are correct, if they're on as well. It started to mute all. But you guys should be mute. We should not be. Yeah.
I am hopefully not mute. That's the goal.
All right. I'm going to continue on because people are saying they can hear. And so, yes, been a trainer for 18 years, one of the Performance House founding trainers with Nick as well, and had an online health and fitness business. I actually started my online health and fitness business in 2012, 2013. It started as kind of just like email workouts back and forth to people, Facebook groups, low ticket items. And then at the end of 2017, 2018, I switched to high ticket coaching, high ticket course offerings, built my business online to a multiple six-figure business. And then a lot of the people in the industry here, especially in New York, were asking me how. So I made the transition in 2018 to full-time business coach, scaled that business to $1 million business in under 2 years. And that's what I'm here to talk about today, really like the tactical stuff of what can you do right now? So not taking the normal 12 weeks or 16, 18 weeks to build something, but how can we quickly and effectively get you from an in-person type job to online? How can we utilize social media correctly and effectively? How can we utilize collaborations? How do you price yourself? Where should you be doing payments? And really all of that. We keep seeing the same things come up. So we're going to dive into a lot today, and I'm going to encourage you guys to use the chat box. So if I'm speaking, Nick's kind of going to have his eyes on the chat box and vice versa. So when he's talking, I'll have my eyes on the chat box. But I think it might be best to just go right into the mindset thing and talk about kind of the elephant in the room, right?
Yep. And just like, know that when Jess is talking, you'll see me like this because I'm blind as a bat. So I'll be like zoomed in. The text is really small, so forgive me there, fam. So what I first want to do is acknowledge you all, because what happened 2 weeks ago when this all hell broke loose, it might have been like less than 2 weeks ago, was everything that I know and that I'm comfortable with and that I've leaned into was taken from me, right? And what we did was we went into the space and we said, what can we do? The story of our lives. How do we make something out of nothing? All of us have this beautiful creative mindset. We were either building businesses or built a business or had our own personal training thing or been doing group classes. You have a beautiful creative side that got you into this space on day one, right? And now all of that is ripped from you, and your creative, beautiful minds are like, all right, I got to figure something out. So we just did whatever it took to keep going. And what we were noticing as Talent Hack was kind of studying everything that was going on, and we've been pumping so much, like, guys, we've been working 16, 18-hour days to try and support you. And I know Jess was doing the same on her end, and just see what we can do to show up for you guys. And we were studying kind of the industry, and we were noticing there was so much going down of just like, the world is in havoc and craziness, and I just want to help everybody because that's where we come from. We're in a helping field. And what happened was we kind of got to a place where we were completely sacrificing our well-being financially, our well-being, just like go give everybody everything. And that's not how it has to work. And what we want to talk about today is how you get to support everybody, take care of everybody, just like you do every day, but now be able to take it to a digital space where it's still serving you, it's still serving your community. And I hope that everybody can hear me clear, I think. So I hope that makes sense. That's kind of where we're at. Go ahead, Jess, go.
Yeah, no, I just want to acknowledge all of you because we've seen really, really fast action being taken. And whether you're doing things right or wrong, understand there's no right way. And so we're doing the best that we can with what we have at the time that we have it and the information that we have. So we just want to say to all of you, like, pat on the back. Seriously, give yourself a pat on the back right now, because everything that you have been doing, whether it's offering things for free or trying to set up payment processors or just like frantically doing whatever you're doing, take a deep breath in and just like really just like sit with all of that and be really proud of yourself, and don't worry about, is it right? Is it wrong? Should I be doing it this way? Or comparing yourself to someone else. It's just, give yourself a pat on the back. We want to acknowledge you for what you have done and the action that you have taken. And then we're going to talk all about how we feel about the economy and where we're at. So let's get into
crazy.
it.
And one thing that I really want to recognize. So I had a group of guys yesterday that I spoke to on a group chat that, again, just the beauty of everybody supporting each other. Like, I'm not being naive to the fact that there's some serious stuff going on right now. People are losing their lives. People are getting sick. None of us are like confused that that's happening. But there is so much beauty that's going on top of all of this craziness, right? There's so much beauty that's actually happening. And I want to take this opportunity in this next hour to focus on that end of it as well. Right? There is so much incredible opportunity for a lot of us. We came into this space with a creative mind, generating like the most amazing stuff. We're like, I'm going to build this business. I'm going to go help this person. I'm going to run this thing. You all could sit on here and come on and be in the position that we're in and tell your story. And everybody would be like, damn, that's awesome. Like, you all have the ability to do that. And you're here now, right? And you're watching this whole thing go down. And for how many years or months, however long you've been in the industry, that creative side the light there may have been dimmed because you've been doing the 5 to 9 crazy hustle and grind. So you've been going a million miles an hour just to keep afloat, to do the things you're doing, to make sure you get to all your clients, to make sure you do all your classes, to get the sleep you need, to get the food, to get your own lifts in. You're doing all this stuff. And now the whole world is put on pause. And how beautiful is it that you have an opportunity to breathe, reset, and say, where do I want to go from here? Because the world is going digital. Like right now, we don't have a choice, but long term, that's what's happening. And what we've noticed in the past week and a half is there's different levels of where everybody's at. Everybody is in a different season. Jess said there's no one right way to do it. Y'all are in a different season. So we want to try and tap into as many of you as we possibly can today to get you some clarity on where to go, how to do that. Jess is the queen of the tactical side. She's going to give you all the information you need to do that. I'm going to stop saying what we're going to do. We're going to start doing it. Give you all the tactical side so that you can start to really dive in and make stuff happen. So Jess, do you want to get started like on being able to just give people clarity on why it's important to be starting this stuff? I know she's like hungry. She's hungry. You can see I didn't even bring a chair today, guys. I'm standing. Like I can't do this sitting down. I'm too hyped. All right, go ahead, Jess.
For the record, I'm only sitting because I ran 47 flights this morning. Yeah, gotta move, gotta keep the energy up.
Sure.
So here's the thing with the economy. We can only speak to what we know, and we can make assumptions about things. And so I can't say things on the record. Where we are right now is where we're going to be for a little bit of time. And that's okay. We have to be okay with that. We have to understand, obviously, like Nick said, we have compassion. We're coming from a place of compassion with the stuff that's actually going on. There's a small line between being informed and then being like over consuming, consumptionitis and infobesity, right? So be informed of what's going on, but also realize that we don't have to just we don't have to like stick our head in what's going on, especially the negative news, the negative propaganda. That said, understand that nothing is going to change until really the middle or end of April. That goes without saying. Like anything you read out there, we're going to be home, we're going to be on digital, we're going to be out of work for a while. And so again, like Nick said, this is an opportunity. What I want you to understand right now, because the big conversation going on, excuse me, especially in our industry, is this service versus selling. Do we serve? Do we sell? Is it insensitive to sell? Has anyone felt that? Just put in the chat box yes if you've been worried about being insensitive to sell. Not sure how you go around selling. Yeah, you don't want to look a certain way. Yeah, a lot of yeses. A lot of yeses. Okay, awesome. First of all, you're not alone. So just acknowledge the fact that a lot of people in the chat box are like, they feel the exact same way. And I don't want to ask people for money when I know people are not working or they're laid off, right? That's a really common thing that people are feeling. I want you to understand one thing about economics here. This is not my opinion. Basic economics. We are currently in a crash, right? The economy is down, it's low. We can't say that we're currently in a recession because the definition of a recession is 2 quarters of negative growth back to back. So as of the end of this week, we'll have finished out 1 quarter of negative growth. That is not a recession. We will have to go through April, May, and June in negative growth to be like officially a definition of a recession. So if you didn't know that, that's all that it means. And don't have fear around that because we're already sitting in the middle of negative growth, which it's not rare for a single quarter to have negative growth. We go through single quarters of negative growth all the time. You just don't hear about it because it's not a full recession and people don't throw that word around. So just understand the kind of definition around that as well. Now, in order to get out of negative growth, in order to get out of a recession, which is there's a possibility we will end up being in one, nothing to fear. The way to get out of it is to pour money back into the economy. We cannot lift the economy up if we don't pump money into it. It's a cycle. It just circles itself. Money goes in, money comes out. If you're not making money, then you cannot put money back into the economy, which means you're part of the problem, right? I'm not saying you are the problem, but if we don't put money back into the economy, we're part of the problem, not the solution. So in order to be able to put money back in, you need to make money, which means that you need to sell. Think about it. Even when you pay your rent, that goes to your landlord, right? And then they have to pay their bills. And there's this ripple effect. It's a trickle. So we have to constantly be making money and selling things, creating things, so that we can all cycle money back into the economy and lift it up faster. Does that make sense? I keep doing thumbs up because we usually use Zoom and we usually see people, but yes, okay, cool. So the feeling of, is this insensitive right now? It's not. It's actually insensitive to sit back with your head down and your blinders on, pretending like nothing is happening. So it's our responsibility to wake up and say, okay, I actually have to sell. And in terms of service, and we'll get into this, guys, you're already serving all the time. Any one of you that has Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, whatever it is, you're already giving free content pretty much every day. And you have been for years. You've already been giving free content. So understand from a mindset perspective, nothing has actually changed in the sense that we always give free content, right? And the reason you do that is to help build your audience's know factor, like factor, and trust factor. It's also because we're these service-based entrepreneurs, right? Nick said it, we're heart-centered. We want to give, we want to educate, we want to teach, we want to coach. And so that's what we do anyway. That's literally part of our job. So don't feel like there's all of a sudden this shift where it's like, oh, do I still serve? Do I still sell? You do both.
Yeah.
Nick, anything on that?
And you've been doing both for a long time. So one of the things that I found really interesting, and I did it, so I'm not saying like floating above all. I was like, man, everybody's putting out this content now. Everybody's a freaking Instagram master now. Guys, y'all were doing it before this. It's just now we're noticing it. And notice you are a fitness professional. So your feed is filled with fitness professionals. So now you hit up Instagram and you turn it on, right? and you go to your first thing, that first page, and you see live, 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 right? And I'm staring at 6 lives right now. There it is, right? Live, 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 live. And I'm like, yo, everybody's doing like, guys, this was happening, right? People have been doing this stuff. We're in, yes, Jess just said, we are in our bubble. Like, you're in your fitness bubble. Now, I want you to think of the guy who's doing his 9 to 5, who's now out of work, freaking out, like doing his thing. He doesn't follow a lot of fitness professionals. He follows you because you're his trainer. And now he starts to see your live content, or he starts to see you posting these things regularly, and he's paying attention to it. And now he's like, wow, okay, that's somebody, like, I need to be around that. It's reminding me that I need to exercise today. So notice that you're in your bubble of fitness professionals and you're bugging out about that. Trust that, don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Worry about you, and trust that you're putting out that content that's really important. Something I want to tap into right now around the mindset of offering this stuff so that people can purchase it, right? It has never changed. Before, it was still service to people that they paid you for. Today, it's still service for people that you paid you for, right? And their challenge is that they're dealing with an economic crisis. It is not your job to decide if Sally is going to pay you for training or not. It's Sally's job to decide if Sally's going to pay for training or not. And Sally is a big, powerful woman, and she can make her decision about me. So tell her what you're worth. You've always been worth that. So don't go crazy about adjusting that. Let me tell you this, just to shift your mind, because this is something I've been talking to a lot of fit pros about the past few days. This is huge. Right now, what is terrifying people, I'm going to cry because I was talking to somebody about this and it like, whew. Right now, what's happening is that people are so fearful of the unknown. There is so much that we don't know is about to happen or is happening. Like, we just don't know it. What makes people shake and freak out about their life is when they realize, I have no idea what's coming next. So what can we do? How can we be a purpose-driven individual to support others through that process? Be the known. You have to support your individuals in creating routine. Wake up, set your alarm like you always do. Go brush your damn teeth. Get up and go have your healthy breakfast that you always have. Go pee like you do every morning. Then drink a glass of water and then get on a 9 a.m. session with me. You show up to the gym at 9 a.m. 3 days a week with me. Why does it change? Trust that this is really important, right? Trust that this is part of your routine. Create normalcy for someone so they can find some type of, they can hack the system of the unknown through you. You may be the thing that's keeping someone sane. So this is so, I want to just implore you all to trust that you are so incredibly worth it. You are so valuable to these people. So I get hyped up about that. I'm sorry, but I need y'all to know like the importance of this. Go ahead, Jeff.
I want to piggyback off something that you kind of said earlier. So Nick and I did a call the other day, just kind of touching base on stuff. And something that he said was like, okay, so listen in for a second. If you're worried about it feeling saturated and you're like, but there's so many people doing lives and there's so many people and you're looking at it and comparing and you feel, because you're in the bubble, you feel like all of a sudden there's so many people taking your clients or in your space. Step back for one moment. Nick said this the other day and I was like, you all were in each other's space before. Mm-hmm. You all have already been each other's competitors. If that's the way that you want to look at it, we've just all been doing it in little rooms, in different places, in different studios, in different gyms. But you've all already been each other's competitors. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed at all. And it's your job, like Nick is saying, to serve the people that you already serve. Don't worry about the other ones. People always ask me about followings, right? Do I need a lot of followers? And we're hearing that a lot right now, that people don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. So they feel, or they think the story they're telling themselves is that they're not going to be able to make enough money. What are you doing for the people that are following you? How are you pouring into them? How are you serving them? Don't worry about the other people, right? Because you all do have people that are following you. You all do have audiences. So what are you offering for them? What are you giving them? How are you serving them? And I really want, go.
So this leads into the discussion, free content. Oh my God. Talent Hack put out a post spanking me saying I've been doing the wrong thing. I've been giving free content and I'm so bad for it. I had a fitness professional reach out to me yesterday and say, hey, I got to talk to you about this post Talent Hack made because I've been giving free content and I think it's really important. So we started to have this conversation. So here we go. This is huge. free content. I need you to understand that you can use free, like you always have, as a way of acquisition.
Yep.
So I'm going to give you an example of a professional that I worked with this week, a SoulCycle instructor. Let's call her Becky. So Becky lives in California, and she was like, oh, I'm just doing all these lives for people. I never do anything other than SoulCycle, but I'm going to do like some squats and push-ups and whatever. And I'll do what I got to do and like keep people. Her intention was, I want to make sure these people keep looking to me, so then when this does all go back to normal, they come back to my classes. And I just want to help people and I want to support them. Make sense? Right? Her name is not actually Becky, but we're going with it, Becky. So Becky then goes and starts doing live. And she's talking to me about it. I'm like, listen, the live thing, you need to use it as an acquisition tool, right? So you can absolutely invite people into your space, show them what you're doing, show them how powerful your product is, show them the importance of being a stable, like set part of their day, show them all that through, I don't know, whatever time you want to create, a day, 2 sessions, a week of free, right? And then, hey guys, I'm making a living here. This is my job. I want to serve you guys. If you have found this valuable, here's the Zoom link. In order to purchase the Zoom link, you got to blah, blah, blah. And Jessica talk about the logistics of that.
And I hate tech.
Understanding, understanding, and I hate tech all the time. I'm not a tech guy. That's why there are 2 screens here. So then she went on to do a Zoom workout thing and got paid more than she's ever been paid by SoulCycle by far in one class.
Yeah.
By far. And it wasn't like a bad thing. She's not cheating anybody. She gave a very fair price, right? So the question is like, is free wrong? Free needs to be part of your business strategy, like it always has been. Nothing changes.
It always has been.
In this situation. Go ahead, Jess.
It always has been. No, it's just, it always has been. I think that's what people are confused about, or thinking that all of a sudden something changed. We've always used these platforms that are free. Any platform that's free, the intention is customer acquisition, right? It's to build your know, like, and trust, and to acquire clients, acquire potential leads that might turn into clients. And so your job is to provide value, and also understand right now, because everybody is like so frantic, all content has value. So I want you guys to really listen to this for a second. Think about food. We all know food, right? So broccoli has a lot of nutrients and fiber and vitamins and minerals. Cookies taste really, really good. That's like a fact. Cookies taste really good and are good for the soul, right? They're like a good comfort food. Both of those things have value in a very different way. All content has value. It doesn't always have to be a free workout or your 5 educational tips about whatever, or 3 ways to not hurt your back. Value in content can be, what if you just made somebody laugh during the day? What if you were a pattern interrupt that had that person like smile, especially with the way that we're living right now, right? What if you told a funny story and it made you really relatable to your audience member? So keep in mind the content that you are creating. It doesn't have to be all these free workouts. All content has value and all content has purpose. There should be strategy behind what you're doing. So you're making yourself really relatable, you're giving educational stuff, you're answering questions, you're listening to what your audience is asking for, and you're creating that. And we'll talk about that, because it's not about what you want to create, really. It's about what do they need or what do they want, especially in a time like right now. So really tapping into who is your audience now and what are they asking for. Go create content around that. And when we're talking about content and we're talking about all this free versus not free, the free is the hook. I want you to just realize for a second, the platforms that are already free, all the social media platforms, when you're single screen, so when it's you talking to the phone and there's no one on the other side that you cannot communicate back and forth. Nick and I can talk to each other right now. We can see each other. I can tell him to put his arm up and he puts his arm up and I tell him to bring it down to the side, right? If it's just you talking to your screen, this is free. If it's now communication between people and I see him and I can correct him and I can have a conversation back and forth with him individually or with a group of people like you guys on this webinar where you're putting your chats, your questions in the chat box. Now this is something that we can charge for. So understand that if it's your service back and forth and you're communicating directly with the person, whether it's text format or video format, this is now something that I can charge for. If it's on a free social media platform, absolutely, it's going to be that free piece of information. But let's maybe rethink the way that we're doing these 20, 30, 40-minute live free workouts. And let's just give them a piece of our workout so they can see what it's like working with us. They can see our energy. They can see what it's like taking a group fitness class with us. And then tell them about your services over here. Because at the end of the day, you still have to pay rent. You still have to buy food. You need to be investing in other things to pour back into the economy, right?
Yeah, and I need you guys to trust, like, one of the things that Jess and I work on with our students in her Empower You is getting people to understand that until you get it up here, they're not going to get it out there. Oh my goodness. I think y'all just like let that slide. You're just like listening. I need you to hear that because it's the game changer. If you have it up here that you are worth X amount, and then you discuss with people, this is what I'm worth, like this is the cost. Not from an ego, I'm hot shit place, from a, this is my service, this is what it costs, then that's it. And you go with it. End of story, right? And you're feeling bad about something that nobody told you to feel bad about. The economy is crashing for everyone here, for everyone. So will prices drop for things? We'll be with that as we flow. But right now, what you're worth is what you're worth. So give the price. I'm telling you, a lot of you have given out $10 classes, $4 classes on Zoom. I don't know if I just lost you. Sorry, we skipped. A lot of you have been giving like very cheap classes, $5, whatever, which is fine if that's what the price you want to do. But if you would ask for 20, because classes are usually 40 at your class, and now they're getting it for 20, and they're still feeling your vibe, still feeling your energy, and you gave them, hey, it's $20. Here's how, again, Jess will tell you how to do that. Here's how you sign up for it, right? Oh my goodness. Think of how much more money you would make, right? You had 10 people in that room, and you asked for $5 each, and you got $50. Right? And now you can do $20 a head at 10 people. Think of how much more productive your hour is, right? Think
and
about
it's
that.
still a discount from what they're used to paying. It's still a discount. You guys, I put it in the chat box. If you're not confident in selling, they're not confident in buying.
Hey,
like, listen to that.
Somebody make it the background on the iPhone. Oh, John, did you hear that? That's John Mayer.
Oh my God. If you're not confident in selling, they're not confident in buying, truly. And the big debate right now is, do we make it less expensive or more affordable? I don't like to use the word cheap. So do we make it more affordable because now we're online? Well, has your service really changed? If you're working with a client through a platform like maybe a Zoom or something, or there's a really cool platform called what is it called?
Loom?
Lyft. It's called Lyft.
Look.
Loom's a little bit different. So Lyft, you guys, I can put the link in the chat box. It's free. It's made for trainers. You can actually like draw lines on the screen and tell people how to correct their form. You can have a countdown timer. Like, it's the coolest training platform for training clients digitally or virtually. If you're still giving that service and you're still providing that eye and that attention, and you're still programming and you're still spending an hour with the person, you don't have to decrease the price. It's the same thing. An hour of your time is an hour of your time. It doesn't matter if you're with the person or not. And if you're running something like a group class, I know that a lot of the fear there is coming up because, well, there are all these apps that charge $4 a month, $10 a month, and how can I compete with those apps? And my answer is going to be the same that we said earlier. Those apps have always been there. So you're not competing against them. What you need to do is you need to create an entire experience. So what those $4 apps a month don't have is an experience, right? You log on, you take your class, and then you leave. What happens if you created something where they log on, they take your class, and then you offer other additional calls? Maybe like this, maybe on Zoom, where you're just talking to them about what's going on. Maybe you have a free Facebook group that everybody's in, that they're in a community, or a Slack, or a Voxer, right? Or a WhatsApp. So what type of experience can you create that's not just a $4 app? Because they've always been here. And one other thing I just want to talk about with pricing for a second, we'll go back to Nick. People have the money. Like, there are tons of people right now who are financially free, who are financially fine, who are financially not even ruffled by this at all. And it's not about manipulating and going after those people. Just understand they're out there. Like I had a client yesterday who made $6,000 on 2 sales. She sells a $3,000 program. She had 2 people buy it. She's not even launching it right now. It's not even open and 2 people bought it. 2 random people just paid $3,000 for a fitness course. It's a nutrition fitness course for the next 12 weeks. Didn't even bat an eye. Because I know my personal coaches and mentors that I work with, they're fine. They're fine. They are so okay. They make millions a year. They have millions put away in investment other places. Especially so many of you I saw at the beginning of the call, a lot of us are in New York City. We are surrounded by wealth here. The clients that a lot of you guys are seeing in person are not really affected right now. Yes, their 401ks have dipped a lot. Their investments have hit below. It's not great. We shouldn't talk about it, right? But for them, $50, $80, $100, they were spending that anyway. And so you have to understand that people were already spending that money. And for the people that this isn't totally rocking their world right now, they want, like Nick said, normalcy. And they want to continue taking care of themselves. And they want to continue on a schedule and a routine, because those are also the people that understand. There were more millionaires and billionaires made in 2008, 2009 during the recession than ever in history, in the smallest amount of time. People get that. People understand that. And so these people where they're not affected financially right now are also the people who are head down working 16 hours a day right now, investing their money into things at the low point, building new companies. This is where new things start. Lewis Howes posted the other day, I'll see if I could find it, during the last recession. I'm going to pull it up right now. This was a great one. I actually shared it. So during the last recession in 2008, 2009, are you ready for this? These startups were founded in that recession. Uber, you guys, have you heard of Uber? Airbnb, Slack, Pinterest, WhatsApp, Square, and Venmo, which we're going to talk about those 2 things today. They were created during the last recession. So there are tons of people who understand what opportunity we have right now. And there are tons of people who have the money who will pay you what you're worth. You don't have to discount your services. You don't. You absolutely don't. Sorry.
Yeah, and competition, that talk about competition with brands, you talk about the large brands that are putting out stuff out there for free. I love you guys. I'm going to start with, I'm just going to lay the foundation. I love you. I'm not being mean. They don't give a shit about you. I love you. Sorry. They don't give a shit about you. Nike is not like, oh my God, Nick Peg's Fit is giving out free Instagram lives. What are we going to do? They don't care. They don't care. So it's like, they're not your competition. They're not. You are playing a game as if that's a competition. Guys, they are not. What you're putting out there, Nike was never your competition when you were teaching. I keep using SoulCycle, so let's go with it. While I was teaching at SoulCycle on my bike, Nike wasn't freaking out that I was bringing in people to SoulCycle. They're like, I'm running my business, you're running yours. There is an endless amount of people, and now there's an endless amount of people on social media, and there's an endless amount of people who are begging for normalcy, who would pay $500 an hour instead of $100 because they will do anything to not go crazy being locked in a chamber with their family that drives them crazy. So you are the person that can save them from that. Do you understand that the difference between this period of your business working for you and it not working for you is your damn mind? That's the only difference. It's super simple. The difference between you flourishing in this moment versus you getting into a depression hole is simply adjusting the way you think about this. So that's why, to me, listen, I just want to talk to Jess because Jess has logistics. But what I realized is this is really important. This side of the screen that you're hearing right now, this stuff, you can't do Jess's work unless you hear the stuff that I'm trying to get through your head. If you can't get to a place where you understand this and believe it and live it, you will not be able to do the work that Jess is about to hand you. Make sense?
It's so good. It's so good. Nick and I have been working together for a long time, and I always say I have to work on my ego because people always say that his mindset calls are their favorite. And I'm like, damn it, it's my program. But yeah, he's so right. It starts here. It truly does. So should we get into some tactical? Because people are like, how do I get paid? How do I find money? How do I do whatever? Yeah, you guys ready for this? Okay. First thing first, I'm going to lay this out. This is absolutely the most important thing right now. And I think a lot of people don't realize it and they haven't thought about it. So a lot of us came from studios or different spaces where we were working for them as an employee or even a 1099 contractor. So I want you to realize this. If you don't have insurance, you have to get insurance. Like today, there's no waiting. I don't care that you don't want to invest the $130 it's going to cost you. So if you came from a place that was covering your butt to be insured under their roof, you're now not insured unless you are. So if you are, you're fine. It's about $13 a month. I personally have Next Insurance. I've had it for 18 years. A lot of people use K&K Insurance. If you're certified through NASM, NASM, AFA, ACE, really any of the big ones, ACSM, they're going to have an opportunity and an option for you on their website that's going to push you to whatever third-party insurance place that they use. Go sign up today. I'm not kidding. You cannot afford what could potentially happen in the future if you don't insure yourself today. So if you are not insured for yourself, please, please, please go get insurance. Pay for the year up front, pay for it $13 a month, like whatever you need to do, just do that. Okay, cool. So that's number one. So we're good with insurance. Yeah. Just make sure you're covered.
Go get insurance. This is not playtime. I'm telling you, like you really want to play ball, go play around without insurance. Now you're going to be in some deep shit when it actually all hell breaks loose. So
here's the other thing too. I know there's some people on the call right now, and we've heard a lot of this. There's a lot of resistance around like, but I don't want to go digital, and I don't want to build online courses, and I don't want to do virtual training when this is over. I hear you, and that's fine. And the good news is you don't have to if you don't want to, although I do think you're going to be left behind. I'm all for you going back to all of your in-person one-on-one or group things when we can. And I think that it's really important that you guys start to understand how to diversify your income streams, because we say everything we say in here is with love and compassion. But imagine if you already did have something in place online. Imagine if you were hosting some group classes or you had some clients online that you saw, and then the rug was pulled from you 2 weeks ago and your studio shut down and laid you off and told you that they're not going to be reopening. How would you feel right now if you did have income coming in digitally, right? Yeah, a lot of I wish I did. And with that, Nick can get into this more. Let's do this without shame or guilt. So understand this is where you're at. These are the decisions that we made, because I've had so many people DM me and say that they're so mad at themselves and they wish they did and they're embarrassed and they're ashamed. That's not going to help anything. So acknowledge that, okay, cool. Now I know I want to diversify my streams of income. And the way that I teach it is you are the head of an octopus. So Nick is the head of an octopus. Jessica is the head of an octopus, right? And then we have these tentacles, and every tentacle is a different stream of your business. It's a different offering that you have. And that could be multiple things within the same umbrella. So for me, I have like a high-level mastermind. That's one tentacle. Empower University is the signature 90-day course. That's a tentacle. I have apparel and accessories. I host retreats. I do in-person things. These are all different tentacles. So now looking forward, what decisions can you make today during this climate that we're in that's speaking to your future self, if and when something ever like this, happens again? So yes, you don't want to go into this digital world. You have no plans on building a virtual business. Fine. And this is where we are right now. Go get insurance.
Yeah. Amen. Be malleable, man. Like today, what's happening is very clear. So like I magically have started a coaching business for Mindset out of like nowhere on accident a couple months ago. What great timing, because here we are, and what do people need more than anything, right? So I'm working with a lot of fitness professionals, working with a lot of just normal folk who need that support. That's one end of it. And I have my personal training in the morning, and I'm doing my consulting work. And like there's many different things, and I'm working with Talent Hack. So create tentacles for yourself. I'm not saying stretch yourself so thin that you can't do anything right? But create spaces for yourself to have different revenue. Keep going, Jess. Let's keep going tactical.
One tentacle at a time. One tentacle at a time.
One tentacle at a time.
Okay, so after you have your insurance set up, let's go with payment, because I think that's the biggest question here. My personal CPA, financial coach in Empower University, is also on the call right now. Her name is Shannon Weinstein. She's done stuff with the Talent Hack. She just did a really amazing webinar, I believe, a week ago. So let's just go with this. I know Shannon's going to do like a dance right now. Stop using Venmo. Do not use Venmo. Stop using Venmo. Okay. It's not a business thing. It's not legal. There's no way to backtrack. There's no way to get refunds. There's no way to ever make a rebuttal, or if there's ever an issue, you're screwed. It's just like a magical passing money through. Yeah, Venmo has got to go. Again, we acknowledge you for what you've done up to this point. So the last 2 weeks that you've frantically been doing whatever, and you're like, whatever, I was collecting money on Venmo and like, oops, I made a mistake. You didn't make a mistake. You were doing, you were taking action. And so awesome. Acknowledge yourself for that. Be proud of yourself for that. But moving forward, let's not use Venmo. Let's not use Zelle. Those are money transferring apps. Like you're just giving money to friends. You need to be legitimate. So your options are PayPal Business. I don't know if Talent Hack, you guys want to write these in the chat box maybe, but PayPal Business, not regular PayPal, PayPal Business. And I can see your eyes rolling right now already because you're upset about the fees, which we'll talk about in a second. Stripe, which is what I personally use, Stripe, or Square. Those are 3 really great options. All 3 of those options are going to integrate into anything. So if you have a website, you can integrate it. If you don't have a website, you're fine. You don't need a website. You do not need a website, okay? So all 3 of those are going to integrate into whatever you're doing. To answer a question that we get often, you can have multiple payment processors as well. So I have Square for when I host an event and I like literally click the little square box thing and swipe a credit card. So I have Square, I don't use it often. I have Stripe, and that's connected to my website. And when people pay me through my website, it goes through Stripe. I also have PayPal Business because sometimes I've worked with companies that want to pay me through PayPal Business. So I have all 3. It doesn't matter. They're all free to have. You can have as many as you want. They don't need to talk to each other. They don't need to be linked together, but you do need to have some sort of a real payment processor. Couple things here. Number 1, when you set up a real payment processor, not only is your butt covered in case there are any issues, which I believe that in the climate we're in, you're going to find more issues than ever before, meaning people might want to cancel, people might want a refund, they're going to freak out when they realize they don't have the money for something. I'm not trying to scare you. This is just where we're at, right? So that's number 1. You want to make sure that you have the insurance, if you will, around your money, and so that you have a system that can support you. No one on Venmo can support you. There is no customer support that's like, ooh, we see here that the service wasn't given. You're screwed. You're on your own. So PayPal Business, right? Cancellation, whatever that looks like. The second thing is you're going to look more professional. If you tell someone to Venmo you, it's like, I understand the climate we're in, but if you sent over an actual invoice or a link that they can just put their credit card in and pay, especially if you're using something like Stripe or Square, you can actually set up recurring monthly subscription payments so that nothing falls through the cracks. You don't have to manually email them and ask them for money every month. Like it just is happening, right? It's automated, it's recurring. And you want to look at this as a real business. So if you don't set it up as a real business, it's not going to get treated as a real business, whether it's universally, spiritually, or just the way that people look at you, right? So put intention behind it. In terms of the 3% or so that you have to pay for credit card fees, couple options here. Number 1, reframe the way you think of it. It's not, oh my God, I have to pay 3%. It's hell yeah, I get to pay 3%, because it's either $0 coming in or 3% that you get to pay because people want to work with you. So get excited about the 3%. The other thing is 3% doesn't really sting until you're making like high 6-figure, 7-figure. Like it stings a little when you're making 7 figures and 3% comes out. You're like, damn, that's a lot of money. And I'm so excited to pay it. I'm so grateful to pay it, right? And the last part with the 3% thing, add it on. Just tack it on to what you're charging the person. So instead of charging the person $10 for something, charge them $12 and have them cover the 3%, right? Does that make sense? So if you want to be charging $10, just add a little bit of cushion on what they're going to pay you to cover the cost of the 3% if it's something that's like burning through your heart so badly. You guys cool with that? Nick, you have anything on that?
Yeah, I just know, damn, I really like it better when I can see y'all, and I can't see you rolling your eyes right now, but I know you are.
I know.
And believe me, like, and I'll say this. I started my mindset calls this last week on Zoom doing, I was like, y'all, like, I didn't ask for anything. What I'm doing is taking a stand for the economy and the industry. And I'm asking that you send X amount of money to my Venmo. I did that for one session because it was an acquisition session. It was a challenge to see, can I get these people into the space? Is this working? Is this product what I need to be doing? So I did that. Great. Then it's time to get serious, right? So like, there's nothing wrong with where you are. Don't be like, oh my God, I messed up. Like you did great. You did great using the Venmo. You're in a good spot. Now, time to move forward and like get professional. And I think sometimes our mind tells us like, Well, I don't have an LLC. Well, I've never done this. I'm just a sole instructor. Like, nah, man, today you're a business owner.
Yeah.
Decide to be a business owner. Like, send in the thing, boom, no payment, anything. And the 3%, man, straight up, if we're going to sit here and have an argument about a 3% on a $10 charge, we need to sit down and have a conversation.
Join Nick's mindset calls.
Yeah, seriously.
To go with
Okay,
one thing
keep
Nick
going.
just said, though, because this is a common question, do I need to be an LLC to set up a business transactional money thing? No. In the future, yes, in an ideal world, we would love you guys to all be either an LLC, a sole proprietor, an S Corp. That is something that you need to speak with your personal accountant for. Even the Talent Hacks helping accountant Shannon Weinstein in here, who I use for all of my programs, she can't even answer that for you, right? Because it's different for everybody. So that is a conversation that you need to have with your own personal accountant and your own personal lawyer. And understand that you do not have to be a legal LLC to set up money, business money, right? Payment processors are just where money comes through. LLC is just like a new tax ID. It's kind of like my business has a social security number. It's called a tax EIN. And over time, I think it's important that you guys do that. If you don't need to do it today, filling out to become an LLC, depending on what state you're filing in, is going to be like, I don't know, a couple $100. I think it's maybe like $200. You don't need to do that right now. You do need to make sure that you have your insurance, and you do need to make sure that you have a legitimate payment processor set up. So don't worry about the LLC stuff right now. If you are an LLC, awesome. Nothing really changes. It's just for tax stuff. But like, you don't need that. LLC is like an outfit you choose for your business. It doesn't change who you are and what you do. Shannon with a freaking mic drop. Yeah, cool. I love that.
Oh, girl.
So, yeah, like really. Yeah.
I'm into it.
So good.
Okay.
So good. She's brilliant. So that's the deal with payment processors. Gabe said something as well. Like there are a lot of people whose companies right now are going to be doing stipends and insurance and whatnot. They need actual invoices to give back to their companies. So another reason that you guys should have invoices right now, because companies are giving people stipends for things like that. So a business PayPal or whatever will give you the opportunity to send out an invoice, which will make your clients happier. And they're going to continue working with you because they'll be able to do whatever they need to do on their end. In terms of like, where can you host stuff? There's so many options. I actually put up a post today. I got super transparent. It cost me $238 soup to nuts to run my entire business online. That is on a really high end. $238 to run a business online is a super high end. I've worked my way up to that. I started at $0. I used to pay $0 a month to run my business. It went up slowly. For you guys on here, honestly, $15 to like $35 would be an average on what you're looking at spending per month to run your business. You could do it for free. But again, just even talking about the $13 a month for insurance. And then if you want to pay for something like Zoom, which we're going to talk about in a second, you're looking at about $25, $30. You can pay that. You can afford that to run an entire business. Trust me, you can afford that. So the post that I put up today on Instagram talks about the 9 different platforms that I personally use and what they're good for. So please go over there and just like check it out so you can learn more about those platforms. But what I think that everybody needs to start with is, I can hear the eye rolls coming. You need to be building community, okay? That is a non-negotiable right now. People need community more than ever. We're literally locked in our homes. So the best places for community, in my experience in the online digital world for a decade, Facebook is going to be the best place for community. I don't care that you don't use it. I don't care that you think it's for old people. Private Facebook groups do better than any other community place. I know the Talent Hack has a Slack channel. You can absolutely set up a Slack channel. Some people use Voxer and WhatsApp. So Facebook, Voxer, WhatsApp, and Slack are going to be your best 4 options for community. You need to be building community right now. Okay, people are going to be leaning on you. It's a great place to also generate more leads and acquisition to warm your people up to be able to sell them stuff in the future or right now. So community is everything. You don't have to do everything in your community. So let's say you start up a free Facebook group, which I have one. If you want to join it, please come in, right? I have a free Facebook group. I jump in, I do free trainings. That's a lot of work. So what do? I call all my friends in. I'm like, hey, Nick, you want to come in and do a talk about mindset? Hey, Shannon, do you want to come in and talk about money? Right? Yeah, of course they do, because it's client acquisition for them as well. So call in the troops, ask your friends to come in, repurpose content that you already have. It's not reinventing the wheel. You're just putting everybody in a private Facebook community so that they can talk to each other, so they can share, they can chat. I'll actually put the
I
link
want
in
to
mine.
pause you real quick, Jess, because
Yeah, go.
everybody, I'm sorry to cut you off. Everybody is, or multiple people are asking about the waiver stuff. We have a call coming up. Talent Hack has a call coming up with in-house lawyer to discuss all of that. So we're not going to address it today. Stay tuned. We will absolutely send out information about speaking with a lawyer because it all depends. It's dependent. So that's a whole call in itself. Keep going.
Yeah,
Sorry.
a lot of information. No, you're fine. So private Facebook or private community somewhere is a must. Okay, you have to be doing that. Just keep people even at ease and tell people what you're doing. I can hear myself twice. Can you hear me?
Oh no, I hear you perfectly. This happened to me earlier.
Can you guys hear me okay? You can hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can hear
So
you. Yeah.
there's an example there. You can use that. I don't know why it's not going through. Anyway, so Facebook community is going to be huge. If you want to be training people, whether it's in a group setting or a one-on-one setting, some sort of a conferencing platform is what you want to look at. So right now we're on, I don't even know what this is called, Click Meeting. It's really fancy. It's more expensive, or we could go with a bigger investment. Personally, I use Zoom. I use Zoom for everything. Okay. So Zoom is amazing. If you want your video to go over 40 minutes, you do have to pay for it. Anything under 40 minutes, it's free. And you can still record it even at the free version. So you can record what you have and you can save it. Other platforms that are really good for this are Google Hangout, like a Google Chat you can use. Some people, those are really going to be the best ones. One thing that I want you to realize that's happening right now, because so many things, including corporations, are going onto these platforms. Please don't record your videos to the cloud. So I know Zoom for the last 2 weeks has been having trouble with this. So when you record a video, record it to your computer, record it to your actual computer if you have intention of repurposing it, sharing it, saving it, or going back to it. So don't record things to the cloud right now because the platforms can't keep up. So
And
how do you
just
film and
want
save
to show
during
you
Zoom?
guys
Yeah,
how simple that is. I had this call I was talking to you guys earlier about yesterday with about 10 guys in the fitness space having this type of discussion. I saved the thing from Zoom. By the way, there's different levels of Zoom. Did you say this yet? No?
Not really, a little bit.
No. So the free one, you get like up to 40 minutes, I believe is the time, and then it cuts you off or you have to upgrade or shut down your Zoom call. And you get up to how many people in the free one? I don't even know, but I'm telling you, it's like $15
Yeah,
for
it's
the
$15.
first level a month.
Yeah.
It's the best thing I ever did. You get to go unlimited time. I think you can fit 100 people in the room. Like, it's a no-brainer. I recorded that call onto my computer. I cut the thing in half for IGTV, and you'll see this is my IGTV. Like, this was a call yesterday with the guys, and I just posted it for whoever wants to watch it. It's 31 minutes long, and part 2 is 36 minutes long. I'm not looking for engagement. I'm looking for information for people who were on that, and if they want to go back to it, or guys who missed it, gals who missed it can go. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's so much you can do with it. Post it to somewhere else, record it to your computer, like Jess said.
And this is where you take a clip from the class that you're teaching and you share a piece of the class that you're teaching to hook people in so they can see the way that you teach, the energy, the people, so on and so forth. So it's not
She's
about
dropping marketing strategy right now.
It's repurposing everything that you have, and you use that as a hook to draw people into your free Facebook group, right? So now you have this free Facebook group and you tell your Instagram audience, I'm going live tomorrow for a never before seen training, but the only place you can get it is this Facebook community that I have. You bring people into your Facebook community. It's just a cycle. You have to bring people through your funnel, right? So we have all these different places. Yeah.
With Facebook community, Jess, you are going to be so proud of me. I need y'all to understand this. All of what's happening right now is a little crazy. There is only one way you can have a true grasp on everybody that comes into these free groups, on all of your Instagram followers, on everything. There's only one thing that guarantees you to have them by your side, and that is their email address. So I'm going to say this one again. I know. It hurt me to say. It was painful. I hate
proud.
technology.
I'm so proud.
If they are in this group and you don't have their email address, I want you to imagine this. And nothing's too crazy now because there's a world virus shutting everybody's life down. There could be a day where Zuckerberg gets sick and whoever created Instagram has a tummy ache and they're like, you know what? I'm over this shit. I'm done with Instagram. I'm done. And they shut the thing down. I don't even know if he's in charge of it anymore. But nonetheless, it all gets shut down, which is a real possibility with how much action is happening on the internet. We never know what could happen. get their email address, so then when all hell breaks loose, your 50,000 followers that you thought you were hot shit about now just disappeared because your Instagram got shut down. Remember that period? It was like 2 years ago where everybody got their Instagram taken down with 60,000 followers, 100,000 followers because they were using music that they shouldn't be using. And then they lost all those followers and had to start from square one. If they had all of their emails, they could send them an email, yo, this happened to my page. Here's my new page. Please go there. They had no way to contact those people or who the hell their followers were. So please do yourself a favor. Jess can talk about this because I certainly can't. Get their email somehow on a landing page.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud. And Julia, also in the chat box, owned versus borrowed. Yes, it's like the ripple effect is happening. Yeah, guys, the only lists that you own are email lists and text message lists, which you've seen have gotten really popular lately. They're called SMS text messaging. They do cost money. Don't do that right now. But email lists are free. You can sign up for something like MailChimp. So just like there's payment processors, there's going to be email list building processors. So ConvertKit, MailChimp, those are probably the two biggest, most popular ones. They're free until you hit like 50,000 subscribers or something. So you don't have to worry about that right now, but you must collect emails because you need a way to communicate with people. Building your email list is part of client acquisition and customer acquisition. And that's what we're focused on right now, right? Especially as we're trying to like navigate these waters. So you want to be able to talk to them. So ConvertKit is going to be a really popular one. And MailChimp, those are the two most popular free email platforms. There's Constant Contact. Constant Contact is another one. And then depending on your website host, so my website host is called Kajabi. Sometimes they're called Squarespace or Wix or WordPress. Depending on your website host, that might also have email capabilities as well. But yes, and I'm putting up a training all about how you can collect email to get people into a Facebook group or collect email to get people onto a free webinar, right? And I'll be putting trainings up on that as well. So you can pop by to see. It's a little bit more advanced. So stay tuned for that. But last thing I think we should talk about is just pricing, like real quick. We went about that a little bit earlier. If you have Kajabi, do you use another email service? No. So Kajabi is a one-stop shop platform. It does everything from payment processors to course hosting your actual course to email list building to everything, literally soup to nuts. It is a much bigger investment though. Kajabi base membership, I think, is like $120 a month. And it goes up to about $300 a month. Yeah, $149 is base. Thank you. Yeah, I think I do $199, and then I think there's $319 after that. It's on my post today if you want to check it out. It tells you all about it. But let's do Q&A. What do you think about that? A little bit of Q&A?
Yeah, I want to, before we do, well, while you're typing your questions, go ahead and then whoever's on the Talent Hack right now, please pin what we need to see. I don't know how any of this shit works, so I'm confused. But
give yourself a little bit
nonetheless, I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm
like really proud.
My computer did you hear that really weird sound when I plugged my computer in? It went like, that was weird. I don't know. Like, that's the technology stuff that happens to me. But nonetheless, so one thing I want to advise you all to do that I think is super, super important. Right now, we all have questions. Everything that's happening right now can change any minute. It's ongoing. We have our own news station here at Talent Hack, right, John? So we have our own news station here. Things are moving a million miles an hour in the fitness space. How do you stay up to date with the Talent Hack? The Slack channel. Again, not a lover of Slack, but I'm becoming a lover because there's so much information on there. So Talent Hack, can you please link? I know you did it earlier, but link the group Talent Hack. There it is.
Yep.
The Slack channel in there. It's constant conversation like this because we can do this every day, but we can't be in your ear all the time. So please make sure you're on that. That's super, super important. It's something we're really excited about. At Talent Hack, we're working on a solution for you to do all the charging and the monetization, all that, the streaming your
so
work
good.
and monetization all in one place. We're actually building that as we speak. I'm like so excited to announce that.
It's so
I don't know if
good.
y'all heard that.
It's so good.
We're literally building a one-stop shop where you can go on, here's how you pay, these are my packages, and then like join the training. We want to make it as simple for you. We know how crazy this time is for you. Go, Jeff.
I just want to say one thing about packages. Things are changing daily. If you guys haven't noticed, they're changing hourly. Right now, I would not offer packages. So less is more. People don't like choices in general. Right now is not the time to say 1 class, 5 classes, 10 classes, 20 classes. Not the time. It's just not the time. If you're doing one-on-one personal training or if you're doing group stuff, cut the packages out for right now. Moving forward, let's do, considering like April starts next week, everything you do right now is for the entire month of April. So consider it unlimited. I know that that's not ideal, but packages right now, it's just not a good idea, especially if you're not really tech savvy and you don't have an understanding yet of where the payments are going and the landing page and the processing. And if you don't have someone helping you check people in to come take class, like things are going to slip through the cracks. People are going to forget to put payments through. You're going to forget to count when someone comes in for like a session. So yeah, class packs and options and stuff, it's just not a good choice right now. So if you're doing group stuff, do an unlimited type thing. Be mindful of how many classes you're offering per week. Or if you're doing one-on-one, like just be really clear on how many sessions that person is getting. A lot of questions in here. This is so good. Landing page.
If you don't have a landing page and you get a direct payment processor,
where do they sign up? That's what I was going to.
That?
Yeah, so that's the signups. Payments are going to come from the payment processor, not from landing pages. So a landing page, just so you guys are clear, a landing page is any page on any website ever. So website just means it's like an umbrella, and landing page are all the pages that go under the umbrella. So when you come to someone's website, if there's nowhere else to click, that's actually just a landing page. But if you go to a website like the Talent Hack and they have event tab, like you can click the events button, and then they have set up your profile button, and then they have about us button. Each of those buttons are landing pages, and the whole thing together is called a website. So you don't need a landing page. What you're going to do is they're actually just going to be sending a link or an invoice from the payment processor. So it'll come directly from like business PayPal, and then you just give the person the invoice or the link. So you do not need a landing page for that.
Great. A question from Sarah. Sarah asked something about, so the studio let me go type of thing for load. They want you to do playlists and workouts for the community. How do you politely ask those places to pay for us? Sarah, you know the answer to this. You ask for it. You're a professional who's been working many years in your business, or not many years in your business, and you get paid for your work. And the answer is, yes, I would love to help. But just because there's an economic crisis doesn't mean that I don't get to make a living. I'm happy to do this for you. Here's my rate.
Yeah.
And the story. And of course, there are outlying circumstances, right? There are extreme circumstances where you've worked with a company who's helped you in a billion ways. And if you want to give back to them in this time of need in a small way, and that's your way to do it, great. But most of us are going to make excuses in our head about how we should help everybody and not get paid for it. Don't do that. It's too valuable. Go ahead.
I read somewhere in the comments, somebody said they read that they're supposed to drop their fees like 30 to 70% if it goes digital. That's not the case at all. Like, and if you're reading that somewhere, I don't like check the source, but in this industry, in this online coaching industry, we actually charge more oftentimes. Like I said earlier, listen for a second, the industry standard for a 12-week health and fitness coaching course is $3,000. And that's with one Zoom call per week. So that's over $250 an hour if you're doing an hour Zoom call. I'm not asking or telling you guys to go create courses right now. I don't think we have the time to go create these types of courses. If you want to, let me know. That's what I do, right? But right now, we're just bringing our business online, and so we're not going to create new things. You don't need to change your price. If you feel weird about your price, add more value. Add more value.
Great.
Don't cut your price, just add more value. So if you feel weird about now an hour of a class online or an hour of a training session online, then give them an hour and a half, or give them a workout ebook that you've created, or give them the Facebook community so that they have some place to do that. Give them an additional call once a week where you're just talking, you're not actually working out, and you have guests like Nick come on and talk mindset, and you have your friend who's a registered dietitian come on and she or he can talk about food, and you have your friend who's a physical therapist come on and they can talk about whatever. You don't have to add more work to your plate, right? But add more value. Don't take away, just add more. I hope that makes sense. But don't discount, add. Just keep adding value.
Alexandra, founder of Talent Hack, mentioned, going back to what I was saying before, you can do it now for X amount, or you can set up a payment plan with the studio so they pay you when they open. Like, that's also something, like sign something with them. when the studio opens, you're going to pay me X amount, and I'll do this right now, because a lot of people, like a lot of these businesses are struggling worse than we are, right? So understand that, and it's like, okay, so how do I have, like, work it out, but don't like do shit for free because you're scared to talk to them about it. Definitely don't do that.
Yeah. Perspective on changing prices after price point has already been advertised. How would I gracefully raise my price to match my studio price? So you advertised it virtually, Jess? Is that what you're saying? You've already.
We got 5 more minutes, guys.
It's on your website. This is such a loaded question because I don't know what your SEO looks like how how many people have actually come to your website and seen it. Is it something that you're like talking about forward facing on Instagram and stuff like that people see all the time? It's through your scheduling platform. Were people currently buying it at that price? It's also on IG. You can also, something like this, you can just have a really transparent conversation, whether it's an email or just like a social media post, or you're talking, or in light of the current climate that we're in, it's kind of like when studios raise their price every year. Like that's just, that's going to happen after the new year. They raise their price and no one feels bad about it. It's like rent went up, so our prices went up, right? And so you can just have a really honest conversation. We went into
endless donation-based classes. How do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Like, if you want to do a donation class, like somebody was doing it, I just won't mention names, just privacy-wise, where they're doing all donation for people who are struggling with what's going on. So they're still keeping the economy going. They're still having people pay, and that what they're receiving is then going into a foundation who's offering money to those who have been dealing with the coronavirus thing and losing their jobs and whatever. And people actually donated on top of that privately to that person. Go ahead, Bill.
So we can do music in 1 second. I know Shannon's going to jump in on this too. Please, I'm all about donation. We give every single sale I ever make goes into a charity. Like my husband and I are huge, if you know anything about us. If you are not in a position to be doing 100% donations, do not do it. Like, don't try to come in and be a hero. It's very nice and very admirable. Shannon Weinstein put up a post the other day, like, we're giving you permission right now. Shannon, what did you say? Something about like, if you're not basically like, if you don't, she said, like, don't invest in the stock before you have established an emergency fund, reduced your consumer debt, and tightened the faucet. Same thing here. Like, please don't feel obligated to go being donating and charity and all this for all your classes. Yeah, oxygen, right? Put your oxygen mask on first. If you're good and you're in a place where you can donate, by all means, absolutely, please do it. I encourage all of my clients to do that, right? But don't put yourself in a hole because you want to look a certain way or you think it's more important to be giving back. Like, you have to protect yourself first. Yeah.
There's a million different ways to the changing the price thing. Guys, you could just say like this season of my business ended and I have a new price. Like, it's that simple. Nobody's in charge of when you charge. If they ask, like, why did your price go up? You tell them why. There's a reason why your price went up. You're not just charging more. You say, I'm in high demand. Or, like, I offer more value now. One of the fitness professionals I've been talking to, I'm actually doing this. Someone I'm working with, I told him, let's do a session, and I'll do 20 minutes after with your kids. So we do, like, jumping jacks with the kids and, like, high knees. And it's like, oh, my God, 20 minutes of
added value
for mom who just needs, like, added value, okay? What else? Specifically, I teach fitness.
Specific question on separating your businesses and separating your Instagram accounts. That's like a whole other topic.
That's another
that I don't think we have time for today, unfortunately. Pop into my DMs. I will happily answer for you, Jordan. I teach this. I talk about it every day. So come on over. We do have answers. Not on here. Cool. Talent hack. How are we doing? Anything else that's like super pressing? What's the best platform for online course creation? It's Kajabi. That's hands down. There's also Thinkific and Teachable. I don't particularly care for either of them. I dropped a free Kajabi link in there. You guys get a free month of it if you want to try Kajabi for a month.
We did.
We're getting questions on music. So this is more legal.
This is legal. Yeah, this is going to be in the legal call, guys. I know. I'm seeing the questions about music. We have to go
outside
legal
our
on
scope
that
of
one.
practice.
So I can't give you information that's going to lead you the wrong way. We will have answers for you. It is through the legal discussion. So be available for that. We'll try to get some of those questions on our next webinars, articles, edgy. We'll get all of these. We are constantly, again, 18-hour days in the Talent Hack offices of our living rooms right now. We are hustling for you. I promise you. We're giving you everything we can to get this information out quickly. Stay on top of the Slack channel. Again, Talent Hack, can we post that in it, whatever. Keep an eye out for what's coming in the creation of this one-stop shop for hosting and getting paid through the Talent Hack stuff. What else was I going to say that's really important? Okay. For me, so please, if you have other questions that are pressing, DM Talent Hack, right? So if you have questions about this stuff that you need questions on, great. If there's something specific for Jess, at Jess Glazer, Jess.Glazer, right?
Yes.
On Instagram.
There's a dot.
DM her. There's a dot. And Jess, can you type mine as well?
I am.
At Nick Pags Fit for like any of this stuff, guys. And a lot of times it is the mindset around it that's halting you from actually doing the do. And a lot of times it is the tactical. So you have two professionals here who are willing to help you with that and want to help you with that in this time. It's literally all we've been doing. So please ask whatever questions you need.
Get in the Talent Hack Slack channel. Get in there. There's so much
Yeah.
happening in there. There's so many other professionals that can help you and collaborate with you. One thing that I do whenever I have speakers come in or guests come in that I would really appreciate, the Talent Hack crew has been working around the clock, Nick, like Nick had said. So if you guys got anything out of today's call, please, when you put up a post on Instagram, on your stories, tag the Talent Hack, tag Nick, tag myself, but please don't just tag us. Write in your actual post what your biggest takeaway was, because that's how we know what we need to serve more of. Like whatever your biggest takeaway, your aha moment, quote that stood out, the thing that like shifted your mindset, that's the biggest gift back to all of us. I know at the headquarters for sure. So that would just mean the world to me if you guys would do that.
Thank you. And yeah, like the last thing I'll say, I'm going to step out of my Talent Hack position and go just to Fit Pro position right now. I am mind blown. Oh my God, I'm mind blown, like thinking about what life would be like in this city right now. And for all of you who are a part of this right now, we still have 120 people on. When we were on this call, 160 some odd people. What would it be like if we didn't have this support for each other, if we didn't have this platform for each other to connect? It's scary to imagine what would be happening in the fitness industry, taking a stand for us being worthy of the rates that we should be charging. Like, this is so important. So just like, please stay in touch with this community, because the only way these questions get answered is when you ask them, right? The only way we can serve you and support you, Jess is a professional with her business, mine is with my business, my coaching, with Talent Hack as a brand, as a company. The only way we can support you is if you say, I need help. Yeah. So reach out. Please do that. And just like so much love and gratitude to the Talent Hack, because y'all, seriously, like imagine what this situation would be like without this platform right now, who's just working around the clock. It's like a miracle. Like God put it on this earth less than a year ago to prep for this moment when all hell was going to break loose and we needed a foundation to stand on. So much love to Alexandra, Jordana, Lauren, M, Britt, all the squad in the Talent Hack office. Jess, thank you for your
Nick,
beautiful knowledge.
I love you.
Yeah. Love you guys so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
What's the Jay?
We're good?
Yes.